Every groundbreaking business, from a garage-born tech giant to a kitchen table startup that becomes a global phenomenon, begins with a single moment, an idea that refuses to die. David Lester's How They Started is a powerful reminder that the greatest companies in the world were not launched by perfect people with perfect plans, but by ordinary individuals who decided that their dreams mattered enough to pursue. When you open the book, you are not just reading business histories. You are walking into the messy living rooms, cramped dorm rooms, and underfunded workshops where today's business empires were forged. In a world where many wait for the ideal moment, this collection proves what Seneca once said: luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The stories are living proof that success is a path carved not by the privileged, but by the persistent. Lester invites readers into the origin stories of companies we now see as unstoppable machines, but once upon a time, these same companies were frail experiments held together by hope, fear, last-minute loans, and raw determination. These stories teach us that greatness is not born from certainty, but courage, something entrepreneurs, investors, personal development enthusiasts, and ambitious professionals across America, Europe, and the world can relate to. By the time you finish reading, you realize that every innovation begins with someone asking, "Why not me?" And that is exactly what this summary aims to inspire: the belief that your idea matters, that starting small is not a disadvantage but a superpower, and that ordinary people become extraordinary by daring to begin. If you love powerful, insightful, and life-changing books, then you found the right channel. Every week, we break down the ideas that transforms mindset, elevate success, and shift lives. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you will want to catch every book we review. Let's continue. The companies Lester profiles differ in industry, scale, culture, and leadership, but they all share one unbreakable thread. Every success story begins imperfectly. That is the first major truth that emerges from these stories. Starbucks, for example, did not start as the warm, global third place we know today. It began in Seattle as a small coffee equipment retailer founded by 3 educators and writers, none of whom imagined running a worldwide cafe chain. Their humble beginning teaches one critical lesson: you don't need the perfect final vision to begin. Sometimes clarity arrives through action. And this truth mirrors the experiences of business leaders today, from small creators on YouTube launching passion projects to African fintech startups like Flutterwave, which began with the simple desire to make online payments easier. Yet, while imperfect beginnings are universal, the founders' Lester profiles share something deeper. They were obsessive about solving real problems. This flows naturally into the second embedded lesson: great companies are built on usefulness, not cleverness. Take the example of Dyson. For years, James Dyson, a British inventor, was frustrated that vacuum cleaners constantly clogged and lost suction. He didn't start with dreams of global recognition. He simply wanted a vacuum that worked. Lester highlights Dyson's extraordinary persistence, building over 5,000 prototypes before releasing a final version. This story blends beautifully with the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, continuous improvement, and reminds us of Aristotle's timeless insight. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Dyson's determination echoes modern innovators like Elon Musk, who iterate through countless failures before arriving at breakthroughs that reshape industries. Another consistent theme Lester weaves across the stories is that timing matters, but courage matters more. Many founders launched their companies during recessions, periods of uncertainty, or moments when the market seemed unwelcoming. For instance, Ben & Jerry's, now a beloved ice cream icon, started during a period of economic stagnation in the U.S. What pushed them forward was not favorable conditions, but a willingness to act despite them. Today, countless creators, freelancers, and small business owners across Europe and America begin their ventures in unpredictable economic climates. Lester's stories prove that risk becomes less frightening when one sees the world not as it is, but as it could be. Another powerful lesson that emerges as Lester examines these companies is the importance of starting with the resources you have, not the resources you wish you had. The myth of you need huge capital to start is dismantled repeatedly in these narratives. Innocent Drinks, the British smoothie company, began with 3 university friends blending fruit at home and selling smoothies at a festival. Their market validation moment came when they set up 2 bins, one labeled, "Yes, keep making them," and the other labeled, "No." They told customers to throw their empty bottles in one of the bins based on whether they should quit their jobs to pursue the business. At the end of the festival, the Yes bin overflowed. This story teaches a critical entrepreneurial truth. Validation matters more than capital. Modern startup culture reinforces this through the approaches like the lean startup method, but Lester shows this principle has been true long before it became trendy.
Tied closely to this idea is another embedded lesson. Successful founders are willing to be beginners, even if it means looking foolish temporarily. Virgin, founded by Richard Branson, is the perfect example. Branson started with a student magazine before moving into music, aviation, mobile phones, and countless other industries. At each stage, he knew far less than the incumbents, yet he moved forward anyway. His approach reflects the words of philosopher Alain de Bacon. Anyone who isn't embarrassed by who they were last year probably isn't learning enough. Branson's willingness to be a novice mirrors the mindset of many modern creators and entrepreneurs. Content creators learning editing from scratch, investors beginning with basic financial literacy, and immigrant entrepreneurs in Europe and America trying to adapt to unfamiliar markets. Lester's message is clear. Humility is not a weakness, it is a critical entrepreneurial asset. Clarity of vision gradually emerges as founders scale their companies, which leads to another vital lesson embedded through the stories. Success is shaped by the ability to pivot. Starbucks pivoted from equipment to cafes. YouTube pivoted from a dating site idea to a video sharing platform. Even Subway, long before it became a global franchise, pivoted its menu offerings based on customer feedback. These stories emphasize a universal entrepreneurial truth. Your first idea is rarely your best idea. Your company becomes successful when you allow it to evolve. Lester's storytelling reinforces the importance of adaptability as a modern superpower, especially relevant in today's rapidly shifting digital economy, where AI, remote work, and creator-driven markets are rewriting the rules of business daily. One of the most emotional insights from how they started is the reminder that every founder encounters resistance, often from the people closest to them. Friends tell them not to quit their jobs. Parents warn them against risky ideas. Investors reject them. Partners express doubt. Yet, as Lester shows repeatedly, resistance is not a signal to stop. It is often confirmation that you're doing something uncommon. Think of Jeff Bezos leaving his high-paying job on Wall Street to build Amazon, or Oprah overcoming repeated career rejections before becoming one of the most influential media moguls in American history. Their journeys echo the words of Nietzsche: "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Purpose fuels perseverance. Lester's examples show that founders who are deeply connected to the purpose behind their idea tend to endure longer, persist harder, and overcome more setbacks. But purpose alone is not enough. It must be coupled with the next embedded lesson. Entrepreneurs must learn from failure, not fear it. Almost every company profiled faced early collapse. Starbucks founders disagreed so much they eventually split. Dyson ran into financial trouble for years. Some founders had to live frugally, take odd jobs, or sleep in their offices, but each setback became a building block, not a tombstone. In today's world, where fear of failure holds millions back from pursuing personal development, investments, or entrepreneurial dreams, Lester's stories serve as a mirror reflecting what is possible when failure becomes a teacher instead of a threat. This seamless flow of lessons leads naturally to Lester's next major theme: successful companies grow when they obsess over customers, not competitors. The founders of Costa Coffee, Pret a Manger, and other European brands Lester covers built their businesses by listening to what customers wanted. Pret's emphasis on fresh ingredients was not a marketing gimmick. It came from real customer frustration with fast food quality. Similarly, Whole Foods in America exploded in popularity because it filled a gap consumers deeply cared about: healthier, organic food options. The philosophical underpinning here is captured beautifully by Peter Drucker's statement: "The purpose of business is to create a customer." When founders serve customer needs with authenticity, growth becomes a natural consequence. But no business scales simply by having customers. Execution matters, discipline matters, systems matter. Lester highlights how founders who succeed are not just dreamers, they are doers with relentless work ethic. Jimmy Wales, co-founder of Wikipedia, had a vision for democratized knowledge, but he spent countless hours refining content policies and building volunteer systems. Ray Kroc, who franchised McDonald's into a global empire, obsessed over consistency and operational excellence. Their stories emphasize the same lesson: an idea might inspire you, but execution transforms your life. As the narrative progresses, Lester reveals another unifying pattern. Successful founders recruit people who complement their weaknesses. The partnership dynamics in his stories show that no one builds greatness alone. Steve Jobs needed Steve Wozniak's technical brilliance. The Starbucks founders needed Howard Schultz's vision for cafe-style service. Ben Cohen needed Jerry Greenfield's complementary strengths. This theme resonates with the African proverb: "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." It is a timeless truth applying equally to modern startups, investment groups, creative teams, and even personal finance journeys, where accountability often determines long-term success.
At this point in the story, the lessons begin aligning toward a larger, driving message. The greatest companies are built on authenticity. This authenticity shows up in founders who believe deeply in their mission, stay true to their values, and build cultures that reflect who they are. Patagonia, though not in the book, exemplifies this principle globally. Their commitment to environmental responsibility became their greatest competitive advantage. Similar authenticity is seen in the founders' Lester profiles, especially those who resisted the pressure to conform to industry norms. Authenticity creates emotional connection, which builds trust, which builds loyalty, which builds longevity. Toward the later stories and how they started, the narrative shifts toward scale. Here, Lester highlights that modern growth, whether in Europe, America, or globally, requires continuous learning. Founders evolve from entrepreneurs to leaders, from creators to managers, from builders to mentors. And this evolution demands humility. As Socrates said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The best founders embrace this truth, surrounding themselves with experts, seeking mentorship, studying markets, reading widely, and constantly reinventing themselves. This mindset aligns with modern personal development principles: growth mindset, continuous learning, financial literacy, strategic thinking. Finally, Lester closes with a message that becomes the final embedded lesson. The defining trait of successful founders is not intelligence, resources, or luck. It is endurance. Every story in his book proves that those who succeed are those who stay in the game long enough for momentum to work in their favor. Endurance transforms modest beginnings into remarkable outcomes. It is the same endurance that propels small YouTube creators into influential voices, turns beginner investors into financially secure individuals, and helps dreamers across America, Europe, Africa, and beyond turn small ideas into global impact. In the end, how they started is more than a book. It is a roadmap, a mirror, a motivational force. It is the voice whispering to anyone with ambition that great companies were not built by extraordinary people. They were built by ordinary people who refused to quit. It reminds us that the businesses we admire today began as fragile hopes, and the next global brand, the next disruptive innovation, the next iconic empire could begin the moment someone reading these words decides to start. And perhaps that someone is you. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and join us for more wisdom that fuels growth.